Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So today we'll be learning about exponents. Okay, so first of all, let's look at some identities that we need to know. Alright, these identities are not inside your formula booklet, so be sure to remember them. Alright? Okay, first one, a to the power of m times a to the power of n equals to a to the power of m plus n. Okay, why does this make sense? Let's say we have 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 2. This is just 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. So you're actually adding the powers together to get your total power, right? This is just 2 to the power of 5. Next up, in a similar vein, okay, a to the power of m over a to the power of n is just a to the power of m minus n. If we have 2 cubed over 2 squared, this is actually just 2 to the power of 1. Alright? Okay, next one. A to the power of m to the power of n is equals to a to the power of m times n. Don't get this confused with a to the power of m to the power of n. Okay? This is a different thing. Okay? For example, if you have 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 2 like this versus 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 2, this is actually going to be 2 to the power of 6, and this is actually 2 to the power of 9. Alright? This bracket is up here. Okay? Next one, a to the power of m times b to the power of m is just ab to the power of m. So let's say if we have 2 cubed times 3 cubed, this is just 6 cubed. Okay? This makes sense because we have 3 copies of 6 each. And finally, a to the power of 0 equals to 1. Okay, now let's look at some more identities. Okay, if you have a to the power of negative p, this just flips it. You take the reciprocal and it's 1 over a to the power of p. Okay, and the final one, a to the power of 1 over p is actually just the pth root of a. So if I have a to the power of half, this is just square root a. Alright? Okay, with this in mind, let's solve a question that is commonly asked in IB. Okay, solve for x given that e to the power of 2x minus 2 times e to the power of x plus 1 equals to 0. So how do we do this? Okay, usually what I like to see is that this is a quadratic equation in terms of e to the power of x. Alright, so how do we do this? Okay, if we let e to the power of x equals to a, we can just do a little bit of substitution. We also realize that e to the power of 2x is actually just a square because this is just e to the power of x squared, right? So we can write this as a squared minus 2a plus 1 equals to 0. And after we factorize it, we get a minus 1 squared equals to 0. Okay, this means that a equals to 1 and a is just e to the power of x, right? So e to the power of x equals to 1, and we know from this that x has to be equals to 0. The next part of exponents is compound interest. Okay, so this formula will be in your formula booklet, so don't worry, including all these over here, so you don't really have to memorize them. So what does it state? It states that the future value equals to the principal value times this multiplier to the power of kn. So what this kind of does is says that let's say you invest $100, okay, R is just your annual interest rate. Okay, so let's say your annual interest rate is 12%, okay, you just have 12. And this formula would simplify to actually PV 1.12 to the power of kn. You're multiplying 1.12 to your value that year. Okay, so let's go through what n and k mean. N is just your number of years, and k is your number of compounding periods in a year. Okay, let's practice this formula. Let's say I have $100 compounded monthly at a rate of 5% per annum. Find the value after 4 years. Okay, so the future value, which is the value after 4 years, will just be the principal value is what I have right now. Okay, $100. 1 plus R is your annual interest rate, which is 5 over 100k. K is the number of compounding periods in a year. So we're compounding monthly, which means we're compounding 12 times in a year. Alright? And then to the power of k times n. So k is just 12 and n is 4 because we have 4 years. And if we calculate this with a calculator, we'll just get $122. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Try to remember all these identities, okay? Keep this in mind. And for compound interest, although it doesn't come out too often, it's still important to remember how to use the formula.